So we picked up a few IBC totes. One of my neighbors works at a place where they use them. We got, I don't know, 3 or 4 from him last year, a couple more this year. We're gonna cut some of them open and use them for stacking firewood in them. There's videos all over YouTube about doing that. You can watch, shoot, I bet you there's over 100 different videos on there. But yeah, it looks pretty plain and simple. I'm just gonna cut them apart a little bit, make it so you can get the wood in and out of them easier, get the plastic tote out of the way. May use part of the plastic tote for a little roof over them to keep the rain off the top of the wood. Probably not a bad idea. And I see some other people have done that too. Some do, some don't. You probably can't stack them if you do that. If you have them no plastic over the top, you could stack them, but it all depends on if I have room to clear out some junk out from under my overhang on the pole barn where I can put them in there. Then I could stack them in there without any plastic over them. But if they got to sit outside, not under a roof, then I'd want the plastic roof over them and not stack them. So I'm gonna go down there and see if we can figure this thing out. Those IBC totes are pretty lightweight, but it's still easier to handle them with forks on a tractor than it is by hand. You got to kind of tumble them around by hand and everything. So I'll get the tractor out of here, take the grapple off of it, and we'll get the forks on there and get the first one out. I thought about just cutting them all at once, but then if you do something you don't like, it's too late to change. So I think I'll just start out with one, get one of them cut up, and see if I like what I'm doing, and then if I do, then I'll do the rest of them just like that. And it looks like we have visitors down in the apple orchard, right where we brush hogged yesterday. I can see 3 deer so far down there. Whoops, where are we at here? I see at least 3. There's one, one over here, and there's 2 right over there. Oh, there might be 3 over on the left. Looks like there's 3 on the left, 1 on the right. Oh, cool. Well, I guess I better let them get around their business, and while I can get around to doing mine. Always enjoy watching them, though. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but the one on top here does not have the horizontal bars on it. They're only going straight like this. Now the straight tubes are bigger than these other ones, but that's not going to work good for me, because when you cut down in there to make an opening, put firewood in, there's nothing, you know, there's nothing to hold these tubes together on the bottom when you cut them off. So we decided we're going to use that one for water for Judy's garden. We used to use that one there, which is one of the 330-gallon ones, that bottom one. But we're going to use that for firewood also. We're going to use this one right here for water for her garden, so I don't have to cut that one up. Okay, I see these have a Torx bit on them. It looks like, yeah, it's bigger than 25. I'm going to try 30. Yeah, 30. Number 30 Torx bit. Yeah, I just noticed one of the birds around here doesn't like me too much. Look at my tripod here. Yeah, that's probably one of them robins that was nesting on my sawmill. Got mad at me for rattling their nest around when the sawmill was running. I think that'll just slide out of here. I think. A little snug, but you know what? That's got air pressure in it from being a warm day today. That sucker's blowing out like a balloon. Let's let some air pressure out of there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Had some pressure in there. See if we'll push out a little easier now. Yeah. Still has a little bit blown out, but like I was saying earlier, I've seen some guys use part of the plastic for a lid on these things to keep the rain off the wood, but then you can't stack them. So I haven't really made my mind up yet. I think probably the first one I'll end up making a lid for it. And then I might go ahead and do that with all of them, but just if I want to stack them, I'll just have to remove a lid off of every, half of them. Ones on the bottom will have to have no lid on them. And your firewood will have to be down, yay high. Where if you've got a lid on them, you can have the firewood stacked higher. These hold basically a third of a cord, maybe just a hair less if you stack it. Not if you just toss it, but if you stack it nice and neat. So if you come up and over, you could get more than a third of a cord, which would be nice. Okay, I guess I think I'm just going to cut them here, down to here, across, back up to here. That's not real wide to reach through, but I guess you don't need to be too wide to reach through there. If you cut back farther, you wouldn't have hardly anything to support the sides. I don't know. Let me think about that a minute. Okay, guys, I made my mind up. I'm going to go ahead and cut them wider. It'd be hard to work through a little skinny area like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them out here. I'll leave this thing in the bottom here, so I'll cut it off on the top side of here and right on up like that. I think that'll make it easiest to fill and get the wood out of. My little cordless Milwaukee grinder and a cutting wheel out. I also brought a Sawzall, but it just seems like the grinder would be faster. But it's going to be really noisy, so I think I'm going to go ahead and throw these on. Help, let me out. I'm innocent. Nobody saw me. You can't prove a thing. Okay, I gotta go get me a flapper wheel. That cutting wheel doesn't deburr very good. You can actually make the blades thin on the edge, and then chips want to fly off of them. You don't want to do that. So I got to catch one in the face one day when he was working at the same place I was working. Anyway, I'm gonna go get a flapper wheel, and we'll deburr those end of those cuts. So guys, what I was talking about, this is a cutting wheel. You can see it's less than 1/16 of an inch thick, and that works great for cutting, but not for deburring. You end up trying to go like this on the sides of metal to deburr with it, and it makes that so thin, the next time you go to cut, that'll like grab, or at least sometimes it will, grab, and pieces that'll just go flying. And the one, like I said, the one guy I was working with, he had a clear face shield on, but when that blade shattered like that, it just came up and hit the face shield, and one of them came up under the face shield and hit him in the cheek, cut his cheek open. And yeah, you don't want to use those on the side, just on the edge. Otherwise, it's not safe. And while I'm at it, since I'm going to be changing this has a safety right here. You got to flip that up before you can pull the trigger. Right now, you can't squeeze it, but if you flip that up, you can squeeze it. But if you're going to be changing blades, you're still much better off to remove the battery, and then little button on there, hold that button in to there. It holds it. Take that blade off, put that blade on there, and There. Now that's ready for deburring, and it's safe for deburring. You still need eye protection, but it's not going to fly apart on you like them other ones if you use them the wrong way. Right way and wrong way to use everything, you know. And guys, just for your information, some of you already know, but I did do sheet metal work my whole working life before I retired. So I did do a lot of work with metal. That's why I know the difference on what you're supposed to do. And a lot of people know the difference on that, but some people don't. And I've seen people use them wrong and get hurt. So that's the only reason. I do have experience in that trade, and a lot of it. I was working that trade for 35 years. So, and then eventually I was an owner in a sheet metal shop too. But yeah, just be careful when you're handling this stuff. And the other thing too is when you're using a cutting wheel, this is not the cutting wheel, this is the other wheel. But you always want to use it like this. It's spinning this way. You want to use it so it's pulling back at you. Because if it's spinning this way, you go to cut into it, it'll want to hit and chatter and bounce, and it can shove the grinder right back at you. So you always want to be throwing the sparks back at you when you're cutting like that, because then it's trying to pull the grinder away from you. And if something were to bite, it would pull the grinder away. If it's spinning towards you, like whoops, if it's spinning towards you, so that the sparks are going away from you, when that hits, it's going to want to jump back at you. So just keep that in mind. You want to touch the metal so it's trying to pull the grinder away from you when you're cutting. Okay, enough lessons. Let's just get it deburred. So guys, we got one cut. Everything's deburred nice. That looks like it's going to be a nice setup. Like I said, I didn't invent the wheel here. It's something a bunch of people have done. So I just happened to see them in use and thought, well, heck, I can do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that one and that one cut, and this one here cut. That's one of the taller ones there. I'm gonna get that one, and that one cut after this one. We took the other one that had just the straight pipe, the straight tubes on it with the no cross tubes. We took that over to the garden over there. So that one's not going to be used for this kind of stuff. But I'll have 3 of the standard ones, which are 275 gallons. The big one is 330 gallons. I'd like to get some more of those, but those are harder to come by. Regardless what size I get, I do want to get more of them either way, because that only gives me 4 of them here to use. And I'd like to have 20 of them anyway. So we'll get these ready, and then we'll get some wood split put in them. Hey guys, I had to come back up here to the house for a minute, get the keys to the telehandler and the Mini X. But yeah, I'm gonna go down there. One of my 2 IBC totes right here. I've got a bunch of stone in front of them here, which I could put the bucket on a tractor and move the stone out of the way, or I can move this log out of the way and come in this way and get the IBC totes from there. And that log, I think, is going to be my next project on the sawmill anyway. That's the one that I'm going to cut up for it. We have a big J-shaped bar. It comes like this, real long this way, then across here, and back a little ways this way. And the bar person would be in here, and people, you know, we're going to have bar stools around the outside of it. And so we're going to make 3 slabs out of this to use for around that bar. It's big, I believe it's white oak. And yeah, we're going to make our bar slabs out of that. So I'm going to get that up on the sawmill. Got to fire up the telehandler, but it hasn't been fired up in a while, so the battery might be weak in that. So we'll get the thing fired up. I did calculate the weight out on that log. The ends are about 27-inch diameter, both ends, but even though this one looks smaller, it's wider this way. It's kind of crotched out a little bit on this side. 27 down there, 27 wide way here. I went with a 26-inch diameter for figuring the weight. It's 17.5 feet long. Figures out to a little over 5,000 pounds, about 5,100 pounds for that log. No wonder when I went over there on my tractor, I thought, well, it was green. I knew it was really heavy when it was green, but I picked it up with the telehandler and brought it home from the neighbor's place. And yeah, the telehandler can lift 9,000 pounds. So I went over there with the tractor now thinking it's dried out some because I cut it a year ago. It hasn't dried out enough, and that wouldn't have got it anyway. The tractor only lifts like about 1,300 pounds. Grabbed a hold of that and just didn't do nothing, didn't budge it. So get the big beast out. We can pick it up with that. Like I said, it may or may not start. I'll find out here. Hey, all right, good girl. Let her warm up for a couple minutes. I bought that so that, because Judy and I are building this thing ourselves here, she had lift me up to like work on the dormers, work on the fascia, soffit and stuff. So she had to run the telehandler with a man basket on the end, lifting me up to do stuff up there. It's the only way we could do the things without hiring contractors to do it. We did, however, hire a contractor to install all of the roof trusses and the roofing. Yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm gonna be 69 years old here next month, and yeah, that's a 10-12 pitch. It's real steep. I wouldn't even enjoyed that when I was younger. That 10-12 is just too darn steep. I did our 2-story house on Pine Lake when I was young, did the roof on it. But that was a 6-12 pitch, was I wouldn't want to do one any steeper than a 6-12. That 10-12, you just can't hardly stay on it. So anyway, that's the story with getting the telehandler. We did it for building the house, and we still use it on the house for a lot of things. But it comes in real handy for loading those big logs onto that sawmill over there. I've lifted logs with that telehandler before that it grunted real hard to pick them up. It made it feel a little bit light in the back end. I know they were a good 9,000 pounds or more. Yep, that's about 5,100 pounds worth is what the calculations say. The reason I set that log down over there and then went around and grabbed it was to keep this end here, which is, and it's shaped like this. I wanted to keep that on this end of the saw so I could better judge where my heights were on that oval where it starts to kind of just starts to fork a little bit here. I wanted this end down this way and the bigger round end down there. This end is taller than this end, but they're both about the same width, about 27 inches wide down there and 27 inches wide this way down here, but it's shorter. I don't have a tape measure on me right now. That one's a bigger screw. That must be a number 40 on those. That's big too. I got to double check. The first one was a 30. These others look like they might be 40s. That's torque bits is what I'm talking about. See, this is what them corners are supposed to look like. This is what this one looks like. Let's see if we can get it a little closer to the way it's supposed to be. Okay, I grabbed a few tools for persuading metal a little bit. See if we can get it somewhat into shape. Okay guys, it's not pretty, but it's better than it was. It'll keep that corner from collapsing under weight right now. I can always clamp it together and get a couple little tack welds or rivets or something in there later. Guys, I just made the first cut without the camera, or off camera, right here. Made that cut already, but we're going on to the others now. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. And there's a way to hype now. Once we're over 500 subscribers, which we are now, you can go down to where the comment section is and slide those comments to your left, and there should be a thing that says hype. And a thumbs up helps us, but apparently that hype is a new thing, and that helps a lot more. It helps YouTube to promote your videos. So if you get a chance, look, and that can only be done on cell phones or tablets or something. It cannot be done on a TV set. I learned that the hard way. Just on handheld devices it has that hype thing. So please consider giving us one of those, and consider sharing it with your friends. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Have a blessed day. Bye. I get out because I saw some deer a little earlier, and that owl's been flying across down here a lot lately, so thought I'd just start videotaping.